All right, everybody, buckle up because this deep dive is a wild ride.
Yeah.
We're tackling a head scratcher you sent our way. That long pinky nail spotted on a taxi driver in China.
And the range of explanations we got in the comments, wow. Cocaine use, ancient secrets. Talk about a cultural puzzle.
And it's like everyone looked at that one little detail and saw something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But to really get this, we got to start with, well, China.
You're spot on. Cultural context is key here. Symbols don't just appear out of thin air. They're loaded with meanings specific to a place and time.
Right. And speaking of loaded meanings, a bunch of you zeroed in on the status symbol angle, especially in China and some other Asian cultures.
It makes sense if you think about it. Imagine going from, say, farming in a village to driving a taxi in a booming city. That's a huge leap.
Huge. And you'd want people to know, right?
Mm.
But maybe not by shouting it from the rooftops.
Exactly. It's about subtle signals, that long pinky nail. It could be saying, hey, look, I've moved up in the world. I don't do that manual labor anymore.
Like a modern day equivalent of, I don't know, having pale skin because it meant you didn't work outside back in the day.
Precisely. Or those crazy long fingernails in ancient China. Right.
Like
All about showing you were above certain tasks, that you had people for that.
a timeless classic. I'm too fancy for this hard work signaling, just updated for the 21st century. But gotta say, not all our listeners went the status symbol route.
Oh, I saw those comments. The Coke nail theory definitely had its fans.
It did. Makes you wonder. Every culture has those little things that make you go, interesting choice. But, like, we got to be careful about jumping to conclusions based on our own backyard, you know?
100%. What's common in one place might raise eyebrows in another. It's a good reminder that we see the world through our own lenses.
And those lenses aren't always the clearest when it comes to understanding other cultures, right? It's like, yeah, the Coke nail exists, but to assume that's the main reason for this taxi driver's nail.
It's a bit of a leap.
Yeah.
We'd be forcing our own cultural baggage onto someone else's story.
Exactly. Which brings us to another batch of comments, the ones about Chinese superstitions and pinky fingers.
Ah, yes. Fascinating stuff.
Right, like that whole thing about if your pinky finger doesn't reach past a certain point on your ring finger, it's bad luck.
Right. And they say a short pinky finger. Well, it can mean you're not destined for wealth or influence.
So maybe growing out that nail is like a way to trick fate, a little cosmic manicure to boost your fortune.
You laugh, but palmistry, the art of reading palms, it's taken very seriously in many cultures. In China, they've got centuries of tradition connecting physical features to luck and destiny.
It's like they're saying, yeah, fate might be written in the lines of your hand, but hey, a little nail magic can't hurt.
Exactly. It's about taking control, even symbolically, in a world full of uncertainty. And that desire to shape our destinies, it's a powerful thing.
Powerful stuff. So we've got status, anxiety, maybe some superstition, all tied up in one tiny fingernail. But it gets even wilder, folks. Turns out this whole long pinky nail thing, it's not just a China thing.
Not at all. And the historical parallels. Fascinating. But we'll save those for after the break. All right, so picture this. 17th century France. The court of Louis XIV, the Sun King himself.
Ooh la la. Fancy. Okay, I'm listening. What's the deal with long pinky nails in Versailles?
So status was everything back then, right? And at the palace, your place in the pecking order. Well, it was broadcast in the subtlest ways.
Subtle, huh? Not like those giant powdered wigs they wore.
Exactly. But seriously, imagine you're at Versailles and need to announce yourself at a door. No knocking. Oh no, too straightforward.
Let me guess. You'd like send a carrier pigeon.
Huh. Not quite. The fashionable thing. You'd gently scrape your pinky fingernail against the wood.
Okay, that's kind of extra even for the French.
Huh.
So was it just about having a fancy way to get someone's attention?
It was a way of saying, darling, I belong here. I move in these circles. That long pinky nail, it whispered, I'm tight with the king, darling.
A nail is a status symbol. Talk about a power move. But, you know, it kind of makes sense. Like, it shows this whole long nail thing is not just a modern thing.
Exactly. It's timeless. And your sources found another example from 19th century Sicily. They had a similar thing with long pinky nails.
No way. Sicily, too.
It seems like wherever people want to show they've risen above manual labor, you see this pop up. But let's loop back to palmistry for a sec. We touched on it earlier.
Oh, yeah, the whole pinky finger length and luck thing. What else is there to it?
It's so much more than just fortune telling. In China, it's tied to ancient philosophy and medicine, the lines on our hands. They believe those lines reveal everything: personalities, health, the future.
Whoa, hold up. So it's not just about reading palms. It's like the whole hand tells a story, right?
Exactly. Fingers, nails, the whole shebang. And while some folks might brush it off as superstition, it's been woven into Chinese culture for ages, passed down through generations.
It's like those old family recipes. Everyone's got their own version.
Exactly. It shows how much weight these beliefs carry. And get this. Your sources said there's a specific belief about the pinky finger in Chinese palmistry.
Hit me with it.
It's all about wealth, connections, business smarts. They believe the pinky finger, especially the nail, influences all that.
Hold on. Are you telling me a long pinky nail could help you, say, close a business deal?
That's the idea. Now, do people consciously think about it every time they shake hands? Maybe not. But it shows how these beliefs can subtly shape behavior.
It's like a hidden code. A secret handshake of luck and fortune, all thanks to a well-groomed pinky nail.
It's about tapping into those deep-seated cultural beliefs about success, but hold on tight because guess what? Your sources found this long pinky nail thing. It's not limited to taxi drivers in China, not even close.
Get out. Tell me more.
Sure.
Who else is rocking the long pinky nail look and why? So last we heard, this whole long pinky nail thing, it's way more widespread than just our taxi driver in China.
Oh, yeah, way beyond. Your sources found it in other parts of Asia, even some Arab countries. And while the whole status thing, avoiding manual labor, that's definitely a common thread, but it gets even more interesting when you look closer.
You do tell. More interesting is my love language.
Yeah. Like, take some rural areas in these Arab countries, right? A long pinky nail there. It's less about showing off your wealth, more about steering clear of certain chores, protecting your image within that specific community.
I can just picture it now. Sorry, friend, gotta save these nails for more refined activities. This manure ain't gonna shovel itself, though, know what I mean?
Huh. Yeah, you get it. It really proves these customs, they adapt. Different places, different meanings, even within a larger cultural region.
So we gotta be careful of making assumptions, right? Just because something looks like a trend doesn't mean it's a one-size-fits-all explanation.
Exactly. It's the stories behind it, the individual choices. That's where the real juice is. And speaking of stories, get this. Your sources dug up a link between long pinky nails and, wait for it, gambling.
Whoa, hold up, gambling? That's a new one. I am here for it.
Yeah, apparently in some circles, particularly in Asia, that long pinky nail, it's a good luck charm, especially for games of chance.
So we've gone from status symbol to lucky talisman. It kind of tracks though, right? If you believe your fate's in your hands, literally, why not give it a little nudge with a well-placed nail?
That's the spirit. It's all about that human need to try and control our luck, even if it means adding a little flair to our fingertips.
Love it. So the lesson here, folks, never underestimate the power of a pinky nail. You never know what stories, what beliefs, what hopes are tied to it.
Exactly. It's a great reminder that the world is brimming with these tiny mysteries, little details just begging to be explored. We just got to open our eyes and, well, pay attention.
Beautifully said. So next time you spot someone rocking that long pinky nail, remember, there's a story there, maybe a whole cultural tapestry woven into that one little detail. And hey, who knows, maybe it'll inspire a deep dive of your own. Until then, keep those minds curious and those pinky nails, well, whatever they choose to do with them. That's all from us, folks. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride.